What's going on, friends? I hope everyone's doing well. This one's going to be a quick one, but something to think about. Um, this can come home. Well, what am I talking about? I'll be right back. Let's talk about what it is that's on my radar this week. Well, by now, all of you have heard Israel has attacked and killed two targets. One was in Lebanon, a Hezbollah leader. The other one was another affiliate that was physically in Iran, and he got taken out supposedly by an airstrike. So basically, if that's the case, the Israeli Air Force snuck into Iran's airspace and tore this guy's home up or his building, whatever it was, and ended his life. Iran is threatening to retaliate significantly against against Israel. And it makes you wonder, at what point does it stop? At what point does the US, Canada, NATO's intervention with this conflict between Israel and Iran somehow wind up dragging us into the quagmire? So I'm going to go to ABC News and take it how you will, because I know I have my issues with ABC as well. But it was an interesting little piece, and I'm going to share this with you here right now. And let me bring that up.
Preparing for possible retaliation. We're joined now by the White House Deputy National Security Advisor, John Feiner. John, thank you for joining us this morning. We saw that announcement from Secretary Austin, several moves, aircraft carriers, destroyers, missile defense systems, all to prepare for a possible Iranian attack. What do we expect from Iran? How worried are you about escalation?
George, I won't lay out what I expect Iran to do because I don't think we want to show our hand in that way. But I will tell you we are preparing for every possibility, just as we did in advance of April 13th when Iran attacked Israel, and the United States and a coalition of our partners and allies worked with Israel to defeat that attack. In the current moment, as you just said, the Pentagon is moving significant assets to the region to prepare for what may be another need to defend Israel from an attack, while simultaneously we are working very hard to de-escalate this situation diplomatically, because we do not believe that a regional war is in anyone's interest in the current moment. And that is something that we've been trying to avoid since October 7th.
Now I'm going to stop it there. He does go on. I would encourage you guys to watch this. It is on ABC, and I found it on MSN, like a pass-through link, if you will. Um, what concerns me is if Iran decides to go after Israel in any large, significant way, they don't have the capability, at least not that I can think of, to hit Israel on the ground unless they're doing it in conjunction with other countries. Now, Jordan really probably wants no part of it. They've got their own problems. Egypt wants no part of it either. Egypt's kind of their own thing. The Saudis and Iranians hate each other, and so do UAE. All the Arabic countries do not like the Persian countries, and that's an ancient dislike. So my fear is things like this will spawn individuals or groups who may be in our country who have not been properly vetted, whether they're legal or illegal. If they have not been fully vetted the way they should be, they could be right now thinking, okay, well, if my country is going to attack Israel, I'm going to do something horrendous inside the US or inside Europe. We've seen it before, it wouldn't be unheard of. But with the influx of people who have come in, one more recent report from the Border Patrol indicates that this year they're going to have 1.7 million enter the country. So if you just do the math, it's almost 2 million. So if you have 2 million people a year coming in over the last 4 years, that's 8 million people. That's more population than some entire states in the US. And we don't know where they're going, right? Um, are they going to Texas? They're going to New York, Rhode Island. Who knows? And the problem is, in this mass of people and families and children and whatever, are military age men. And they don't have to be military age men. It could be an old man with a lot of experience. We don't know what's going to happen. And as this continues to spin out, My fear is it will come home, and hence the title of my video today. It could come home and it could hurt us at home. Do I think it'll happen? I honestly don't know anymore. I'm not one to fearmonger. I do like to hypothesize. I love a good conspiracy and I love a good geopolitical discussion. But in my mind, in the past, whenever wars were fought, it was not uncommon for a fifth column, an element in the other country, hiding to cut telegraph lines or, blow up the railroad tracks or burn the bridge down or blow up the explosive manufacturing. And we've seen this. General Dynamics in the US, BAE in England, Rheinmetall, I believe it was, in Germany. There are a lot of instances of military relevant contractors, big ones, suddenly catching fire, something you don't hear of that often, plus derailments, plus et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We don't know what's going on. What y'all need to do, what we need to do as a community, is to think about how would I react to it if I'm on the road? And I've talked extensively about planning trips, planning for contingencies on travel time, but also if I'm home. How do I collect my people? How do I collect my family? If you have family in different cities like we do, who's the bug out location? What if multiple locations are hit? Do they have a path defined? For instance, if I have a relative in Louisiana and I'm here in Texas, how many paths have they plotted to get here in a timely manner if they need to? If something were to happen, much like 9/11, the US would get shut down while they go and find the bad guys within the first 6 to 8 hours. Certainly within 24 hours, everything's going to come to a screeching halt. They need to be able, if they're going to leave a location, be it go from New Orleans to wherever, West Texas, or go from San Francisco to Oklahoma, whatever the path is. Do they know the roads? Do you have physical maps with you? Not just if you're traveling, but if you're home and you have to leave. Do you have accommodations if someone comes to your house? Do you have enough food to accommodate another person for a night while they figure out what they're doing? Understanding how these little intricacies can play can really help you. You may not even get affected. Your area may be fine. You might have power, you might have light, you might have water, you might have cell phone, but someone else in another area might get into a situation they have to leave. Are you prepared to not only deal with them coming through, filling up with water and keep going, but the psychological impact of folks? There are a lot of great channels. Prepping by Sarge is actually a therapist and a counselor, and he talks extensively about the mental state of people. Angry Prepper, there are a lot of preppers out there who've talked about this because they have experience, not just hypothetically. I would talk hypothetically because that's not my expertise, but common sense would dictate that people showing up in a distressed state could cause problems to you and yours. These are little things to think about, not to be fear mongering, but understand if cousin Joe and his family show up here, do I have accommodations for them? Do I even want them here? If their kids are atrocious and they harass your dogs and they fight with your kids, well, do you even want them here? Are they even someone you want as part of your circle? I know that sounds terrible, but the truth is, honest to God, there are people in my family and that I wouldn't want here. There are friends I've had who I know if I called at 2 in the morning, the minute they got the message when they woke up, would be calling me to see what they can do. So get to know your people. It's super important to do this. All these gatherings, Hudson Valley Visions, all these prepper meetups, even hell, even a prepper coffee. You don't have to go and do anything crazy. Just get 5 or 6 people together and talk about what's going on. Understanding your circle, how they act, the way they think. Your family's the same way. You don't want to introduce those problems to your home. But if there's someone who can add value or genuinely someone you care about and who care about you and may be in need, you have to accommodate that both for the physical and the psychological. In any case, something to think about. Hopefully, this stays where it is and we don't get involved in it because we've got enough stuff going on. This election, that's going to be a whole nother video. You guys be good, be safe out there. Pay attention to what's going on. Remember, if we're watching and we see possibilities and we position ourselves, we're going to be a couple of days ahead of everyone else before the general freak out happens. And that's where you want to be, ahead of the curve. You can't stop what's going on, but being ahead of the curve allows you to position yourself so you can deal with the situation the best way you can with your resources and your own personal situation. Guys, be good, be safe out there. God bless. I'll see you on the next video.